Hello and welcome to the Beauty Know-It-All. It's Retin A update time. If any of you follow me on Instagram, you will know that in the middle of December I went to see a woman called Kate Kerr for a facial. And we were talking about sun damage and getting to a certain age, I'm 54, and what can really be done to up the anti-aging ante in your skincare. And she said there's one thing and there's one thing only, and that is prescription strength tretinoin, Retin A. And I said, well, funny you should say that. Last time I went on holiday to Mexico, I brought a tube back, and here it is. I'm going to show you it. And I say I have that's Retin A 0.5%, 0.05%. Sorry. And she said, why don't you try using it? And I said, well, I have tried using it, and the truth of the matter is that it's made my skin, which is normally incredibly well balanced and not sensitive at all, it's made my skin peeling and red, not sore or irritated, but basically you use it and then 3 days later your skin starts to peel off. And she said, yeah, that's what it's supposed to do, Nadine. It's speeding up the turnover of skin cells. You've just got to push on through. And so I wanted to update you. 8 weeks in, I'm pushing on through. One of my followers was very funny, and I wish I could find out who it was, and if it is you, you need to leave your name below. She said, what you need to start, Nadine, is a peeling party, because everybody either that was using pretty strong retinols, that is the over-the-counter version, which is much weaker version of the tretinoin that you can get on prescription, we're all peeling basically, because what happens is you apply your retinol at night, or you apply your Retin A 0.05% at night, and then 2 or 3 days later you're in the shower and your skin starts to peel off. I'm going to drop in some pictures of my skin. It's not a pretty sight. Prepare yourself. Basically peeling. So what happened was I started using it just before Christmas, and I was peeling, and I wasn't noticing any difference to my skin, but it had only been 2 weeks, so what do you expect? And then my skin started to get dry. And when I say dry, I mean for the first time ever in my life, I had dry skin. And I was only using this 3 times a week, which is pretty much the right amount that you're supposed to use it. You're supposed to work your way up slowly. So what I would do is I would use it one night, 2 days later my skin would peel off. When it had all come off, I'd use it the next night. So roughly 2.5, 3 times a week I was using it, and slowly building up. They say use a pea size amount. I could never find that a pea size amount went far enough on my skin. So I was using sort of a pea on one side and a pea on the other side, and then a pea from the sort of neck down. I haven't actually taken it too far onto my chest. But I've got an age spot here, a piece of sun damage here that I was definitely targeting. So I was sort of doing it down to here. And I haven't stopped peeling. I am now 8-9 weeks in, and the peeling hasn't stopped. But the dryness is beginning to stop, and this is what I wanted to say. So I asked loads of questions below. If you look on the Instagram post, if you look on my original YouTube post where I talk about retinols and Retin A, you can see the conversation. It all goes on. This is what happens. First of all, you peel, and you have to get used to it. And I am 2 months in, and the peeling is not stopping. It's not showing any signs of stopping at all. It's not an exfoliant. What Retin A does, what tretinoin, what all retinols do, is they attach onto the vitamin A receptor in the skin, and that receptor is there to turn over skin cells, speed up the turnover of skin cells, and to differentiate your skin cells. So when they're at the bottom and they slowly work their way up over sort of a 28-day, 6-week period, they differentiate, they become new cells, and then they become more keratinized, and then they get to the surface, and then they become the dead skin cells that keep the water in and all the pollutants and the irritants out. And what this does is it basically improves the process. It gives your skin functioning capability of younger skin, because as you get older, the differentiation process, the process of your skin coming to the surface slows, surprise, surprise, like everything else in your body. And what this does basically is it mimics the action of younger skin. It makes your skin differentiate and turn over skin cells more quickly. Now, what happens in that process is, in the first 2 months, and I feel I'm just beginning to turn a corner, there's good news, I promise. What it does is it makes skin cells come to the surface that aren't ready to come to the surface. So therefore your barrier function goes, your ability to keep the good stuff in and the bad stuff out, and you look worse. You end up looking like a crocodile. I actually started asking some of my subscribers and followers, I'm 6 weeks in, I'm 8 weeks in. Are you looking worse? Are you looking older? And then I found out it's a normal side effect because the skin cells that are coming to the surface that are shedding are drier, they're immature, they're not ready to come to the surface. And then, according to Kate Kerr, and I'm not at that stage yet, you get roughly 3 months in and suddenly your skin kicks in and it has the ability to produce the skin cells more quickly at a better rate, and when they get to the skin surface they are better quality skin cells, younger acting skin cells, better barrier function skin cells, and also it kicks in your natural moisturizers, your ability to produce things like cholesterol, fatty acids, ceramides. They're natural moisturizing factors in your skin that sit between the skin cells that stop the water leaking out and which keep your skin hydrated and moisturized and looking plump, and that's what you want. So it boosts collagen and it boosts your production of natural moisturizing factors, and I'm not at that stage yet. But what I have noticed is the peeling hasn't stopped, the dryness is starting to stop. I'm using Retin A 0.05%, but I started on Retin A 0.025%, which is obviously half the strength of that. There is a Retin A 0.1%, but one of my subscribers who's got acne, which is what this drug was originally designed for, said to me 0.1% is normally prescribed for people with cystic acne. I know some women that use it for anti-aging, but pretty much if you can get used to this and use this 3 times a week, eventually this is just the gold standard, you stick with this. Now, that's the Janssen Silag name for tretinoin, Retin A, but there are other products on the market. And the one that most people are asking about is Differin. Now, Differin is not technically Retin A, it's not technically tretinoin, it's Adapelene. Now, Adapelene is a 3rd generation retinoid, which means that it is similar to tretinoin, the active ingredient, in my Retin A, but it's supposed to be less irritating, it's supposed to have less side effects, and it's for the first time ever come off of prescription in the US. So when I was in Miami, in the drugstores, which I love, obviously, who doesn't love, and what English person or European person doesn't love running around Walgreens in America, you'll see it lined up on the side, most often with a security tag on it, which that's when you know you're onto a good thing. If you go into any chemist or drugstore and you find something with a security tag on it, that's the product that's most often obviously being sideswiped. And lots of people have been asking me about this, and because obviously you can buy it without a prescription, you cannot get this off of prescription. This either needs to have to be smuggled in from Mexico, and at the time I said Dubai, but actually you can't get it in Dubai anymore. Another one of my followers advised me. So you have to go to a dermatologist or a doctor to get this. An aesthetic doctor will prescribe it for you. So if you're already having laser treatment or Botox or filler, then if you ask for a prescription and they think that you have the right set of symptoms for this, so sun damage, fine lines, all that sort of stuff, then they will prescribe it for you if you ask them. It's quite expensive on prescription. So this Differin is available, and it comes at 0.1%. The problem is that it's less tried and tested. It comes in a gel form available over the counter, and the problem with all gel forms is this isn't alcohol based like a lot of gels, but it is propylene glycol based, which means it's incredibly drying for your skin. But my advice to you is if you can get it and you want to try it as an anti-aging ingredient, for the amount of money it costs, you've kind of got nothing to lose apart from maybe dehydrating the surface of your skin. And I know a lot of UK people are now buying it when they're in the States and they're bringing it over. You might want to up your moisturizers at the same time to undo the effect of the propylene glycol, which is basically the solvent that the Adapelene, which is the active ingredient, this 3rd generation retinoid, is. I personally don't like using gels on my skin, but then I have this in a cream form, so I'm not really tempted to buy it. However, if I didn't have a private aesthetic doctor or a GP that would prescribe it for me, I'd be very tempted to buy it, and I'd be very tempted to buy it off Amazon and try it. What I would recommend is if you've got acne and if you've got spots and you've got breakouts anywhere on your skin, your body, your back, definitely try and get hold of some Adapelene. Differin is actually marketed as Differin, but the active ingredient is Adapelene. Definitely try and get it, because If you've got spots, then it makes sense to me to use a gel base rather than a cream based product, because obviously it's going to dry out the skin, it's going to dry out the excess sebum. Personally, for anti-aging, I'm going to stick with my 0.5%, 0.05%, 0.25%, Retin A for the time being, and I'm going to update you. I've dropped in some pictures to show you what the dry skin looks like. The best way for me to exfoliate it has been in the shower with a muslin cloth, and when you come out when your skin is too damp, I roll it off. Yes, I'm using some grainy scrubs to help get it off. Yes, I'm using muslin cloths. Yes, I'm using my makeup eraser to get it off. I've cut back on my AHA, BHA toners, which only because it makes your skin not red, but it's sore. And any product you use on the top after you've exfoliated your skin, it tingles and it can be sensitized, and it can be, my skin doesn't really go red, it's so yellow, it takes a lot for my skin to go red, but it'll make any product you use tingle on top. I mean, even if it's just a boring hyaluronic acid or an antioxidant serum, it will tingle, it will feel super sensitive. So as a result, I've been using a lot less AHA and BHA, so salicylic acid and glycolic acid toners, which I would normally use at night. In a way, my Retin A has replaced those because it's already boosting the turnover of skin cells and I'm already peeling. So I don't really need to encourage that anymore. So I've been using physical ways of getting rid of the dry skin. So literally rolling it off when my skin is damp, or using a muslin cloth or something like that. What I have done is I've also cut back on all my other active ingredients as well. On the nights that I'm not using the Retin A, I will either use one of my Paula's Choice retinols. That's the Resist Intensive Repair Cream, which is just really lovely. It's a lovely rich cream for dry and very dry skin. And I know it's a retinol and I'm already using Retin A, so who knows, but I thought double whammy. Or I'm using the 1% retinol clinical serum. That one's a lovely light serum, and that one's a quite nice rich cream, so they feel sort of soothing on the nights that I'm not using my Retin A. Or I'm also still using my vitamin C regime, so testing out all my vitamin C products. Don't use Retin A or retinol and vitamin C at the same time. Personally, they're both potential irritants. Why would you want to layer on potential irritants? They also work in a different way. So for me, really, Retin A 2 or 3 times a week, maybe a vitamin C cream 2 or 3 nights a week, or a soothing repair barrier function moisturiser is what I've been doing. Now, other good news, I haven't stopped the peeling. I am beginning to stop the dryness, but oh my goodness, the pigmentation is going, and so is the redness in my skin, which is interesting. So I suffer from very bad broken veins through here, and I've got an area of vascularized pigmentation damage here. This has faded by about 30%. This is fading by 30%, which I did not expect to happen. And then the age spot on my neck has also faded by about 30%, and I'm only 9 weeks in, so I'm beginning to see the results I'm beginning to expect. I've noticed no difference on the fine lines, maybe because the dryness obviously exacerbates your fine lines. No difference in skin density or laxity at all. I guess they are longer term goals. But one thing that tretinoin does is it normalizes blood supply in the skin, it normalizes the vascularity in the skin, so if you're over-vascularized, it makes sense, it's why it works for rosacea, that the redness is starting to go down, and it normalizes melanin production, which is why the pigmentation is starting to go down. Thumbs up on both of those side effects. So I hope that's answered your questions and it's given you an update on my Retin A tretinoin journey. It's not an easy journey, and if it wasn't for the fact that I knew that the results would be worth it in the long term, it would be very easy to give up, and I have given up before. I'm sticking with it because I'm beginning to see the results that I want. And I also have wonderful followers and subscribers who've shared their journeys below. I'm going to put the link into my original Retinol, Retin A video, which explains exactly how they work and the differing strengths and all that sort of stuff. And you'll notice below that there's a whole community of women sharing their experience. We call ourselves the Peeling Party, and it was their journeys and looking at some of their pictures of their skin that made me realise that I need to stick with this, and that I pretty much will probably be on some strength of Retin A for the rest of my life if I want the skin I want. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this from here to here. It's a lot. If you've never had sensitive skin or dry skin or irritated skin, it's a lot to suddenly willingly give yourself those symptoms, and to do it from here all the way down to here would be pretty tough, especially in an English winter, because when the wind blows you feel it cut through your skin. It's not pleasant. And again, applying skincare becomes a tingling, slightly stinging, burning sensation, which it didn't used to be before, but I am beginning to see results and I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to update you in another 2 months. Subscribe, like, comment, let me know what else you want me to cover. I'm going to do peptides and I'm going to do sunscreens, especially when the sun eventually comes out in the UK. And also I'm going to do a few more lifestyle-y ones. I posted a picture of myself in a bikini on holiday. Trust me, I was lying back. Gravity was my friend in that picture when you lie back. But people wanted to know how I stay in shape and how I control my weight at my age, because obviously that's quite tough as you get older as well. So I'm going to do things like that as well. Thank you for following. Thank you for liking everything. Thank you for, sorry, there's cat hair in the air. My cats are beginning to shed. Thank you for subscribing, and I will keep you updated in another couple of months on this peeling party face.